I got less than 2 weeks left in this studio before I have to finish packing everything up and fly to the USA to start the next chapter. I don't know when I'll have a fully functioning studio again, so these next 2 weeks I'm going to be working as hard as possible to get as much music done while I have this space. That's always the priority. I'm going to keep making and releasing music to the standard to which you've become accustomed, no matter what's happening in my life, no matter where I am, no matter what equipment I have. Last time I was in this same position, crazily enough, was exactly 5 years ago. May 2021, my wife and son and I were living in Texas, USA. I was working out the home studio I'd built, surrounded by acoustic panels I'd crafted myself in the garage, the first garage I'd ever had. I was in the studio working 14 hours straight every single day, getting as much music as I could done, not knowing when I'd next be able to be back in my studio again. What I did not know at the time was that I would never be back in that studio again. The plan at the time was to fly to Mexico, get the new US visa I'd just had approved, stamped at the embassy, then fly back to Texas. We didn't know how long it was going to take because it was COVID period and visa appointments were taking longer than usual to get. What I didn't count on was the regime at the time, without warning, declaring that unvaccinated foreign nationals were not allowed to re-enter the USA. And so we found ourselves locked out of the country in which we'd built our lives, our beloved studio, and my son had spent the first part of his life. Of course, no matter what, the music does not stop. We happened upon a nice Airbnb in Mexico, and I kept on making and releasing music with my laptop from deep in the heart of the Mexican jungle. We made friends with the owners, who became fans of MEANINGWAVE. I got into CrossFit and got fit. Herc made friends. After a year in Mexico, we realized we weren't going to be allowed back anytime soon, and so we had our home and the studio in the USA remotely packed up into storage. I'd begun the long, slow process of rebuilding a makeshift studio in an Airbnb in Mexico, wire by wire, piece by piece. And after what felt like an eternity of working in make-do conditions, I was blessed to be able to build an actual studio here on the grounds of the Airbnb that we found and made our home. Finally, in 23, the studio I've been working in ever since was constructed. It was a miracle, an absolute miracle. I was able to finally create music in a perfectly sound-treated place. I was able to sing at the top of my lungs, play music loud. I had the best studio desk I've ever had in my career that was created by our friend Pau. Thank you, Pau. And I made the best music of my life in here. And now it's time, once again, to leave it all and move on. The vaccine mandates have long since been lifted, and it's time for us to move on and return to the USA. It's time for my son to be around people of his own language and culture as he enters his teen era. And it's time for the next phase of MEANINGWAVE to begin. With less than 2 weeks left in this studio, I'm once again at a crossroads and a turning point, not knowing how long it will be until I have a studio to work in again. But one thing is for certain, I know that whatever situation we find ourselves in, I will always find a way to work to bring you the music that you deserve and to create the soundtrack of your ultimate life. If you get value from the music and you want to support what we're doing, we're currently running a campaign to raise money to return to the USA and make a brand new mixtape called Wave Rider. We're currently at just over 50% of our goal with 6 days to go. Check it out at meaningwave.com/waverider. Love to you and your family. God bless.